Alright, hi guys. I am at a career quest, well, information session about how to study in Canada. So it's being put on by Career Quest. I'm going to go live for the entire session so you can get the information firsthand. So we're at the Courtly Hotel. It's uh, Career Quest. It's Career Quest, and their information is here, phone numbers, all everything. I am going in. The session has started. I'm going in so you can get the information, and you'll miss nothing. At representing Black Brand Rainforest Seafood, also known as Rainforest Caribbean. The reason why I chose Conestoga was the only college that I see that aligned with my background, aligned with my educational background, and also not only that, but my workforce background. I did a one-year program at Conestoga. The program was quality assurance manufacturing management, where it had a mechanical engineering background. However, as a science student, we knew that we don't allow anything to hinder us from learning. And why I chose this course is because not only that it's about quality and quality assurance, but I wanted to become well-rounded in the environment, and also because I know that Canada has a shortage of science students, STEM system students, and I wanted to be one of the person to embark on this adventurous journey. So that's my main reason why the school, I must say that the school is very organized, it's very clean. The teachers, the lecturers, the students, they are very helpful. So the school was it was just exceptional. The program, the system, everything was just organized, everything, the online system, the Zoom meeting, the Zoom teaching, everything was just put together, and it was worth my time. So I'm happy that I chose that school. So tell us about your job, your company, the position and your role. So what's happening? The internet's a little slow. We're gonna come back to the video later. Yes. Great evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join us to discover what's possible at Camosun College and Conestoga College and the journey that awaits you by studying in Canada. I am Kimon Tobias, and I am one of the agents at Career Quest Limited. At
at the front there is Yvonne Tobias. She is the founder and lead agent at Career Quest. And at the panel we have Danielle Zeldin, and I'll just say Natalia. Natalia has a number of surnames, and they're in Spanish, so to save myself the trouble, the tongue tie, I should say, Natalia and Danielle, they're here with us to just unravel the opportunities in terms of programs, the different pathways, give you a little introduction about where they're located, and help you to see yourself there from here in Jamaica. So we're gonna just start off. It's going to be, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions as well as the evening progresses. But they'll paint a picture for you of what it is like to study, whether you choose British Columbia, which is where Camosun is located, or you opt to go to Ontario, which is where Conestoga is located. You'll get a synopsis tonight of what life at these institutions will look like before you get there. So I'll not turn over to Daniel.
Thanks so much, Ramon, and thank you all for coming this evening. I won't talk for too long, so we'll give you an opportunity to ask some questions and sort of look at your individual interests and goals. But I wanted to introduce you to our college, Camosun College. This is a real image. This is the Empress Hotel. It's right down on the Inner Harbor. Right next to it is the Parliament, Victoria's the capital. Just in general in Canada, just a few sort of remarks. Anywhere you go to study in Canada, you go to a public institution, you'll get a good education. What's important to think about is, first of all, where you will want to be, what type of environment you want to be in, and what you want to study, and what the labor market looks like, in the place where you study. And the reason for that is, as I was saying before, you were mentioning your son has no interest in leaving the city that he studied in. That is so common in Canada. Most students plant their roots, they study there, they develop their friendships, their communities, and they have no interest in going anywhere else. So one thing that I always recommend is take a look at the city or region where you're planning on going and see if it has the job market, see if it has the community that you're looking for, and try building that from there. Canada is a safe country in comparison with other English-speaking education destinations in the world. It's a relatively affordable country. It's very multicultural, very open-minded. Canada literally has people from every single country in the world living there. So it's quite a remarkable place. And then some of the other sort of value adds, we have what we call affordable education system. So that means your education in Canada is very likely to be recognized in other parts of the world. And we offer you the opportunity to work up to 20 hours a week while you're in your academic program of study, full-time while you're on your scheduled breaks, summer holidays, Christmas holidays, etc. And you also have the opportunity, depending on the program of study you choose, to obtain what's called a post-graduation work permit for up to 3 years. So this gives you the opportunity to work in your field, develop experience, and possibly pursue other opportunities to stay afterwards. And briefly, Victoria, we are on the west coast of Canada. So we're on the Pacific Ocean. Victoria's on Vancouver Island. It is, anywhere you go in Canada will not be warm like the Caribbean. Summers will get hot in many places, but Victoria does have the most temperate climate in all of Canada. Our temperature goes from between 5 degrees above zero and 25 degrees above zero, so we don't have a big range. It's quite comfortable, and being on an island, more relaxed, more laid back, we feel more casual. It really is a very comfortable place to live. We have great job opportunities as well. Victoria consistently has one of the lowest unemployment rates in all of Canada. Usually either just ahead of Quebec City or just behind Quebec City in number one spot. As you can see, we have a population of about 400,000 people, so we are a city, but we're a small city. It's easy to get around, no pollution really, very clean air, and we actually were just ranked the number one city in the world by Condé Nast. It just came out. Yeah, we've been in the rankings somewhere in the top 25, but this year, somehow I was shocked to see it myself. Victoria is a wonderful place. I saw it come up. It's So I'm going to turn it over and try to talk a little bit about teaching, and we'll go back and forth so we don't bore you a bit. We can kind of get a little bit of compare and contrast. Come back and chat about programs in a moment. Was it in?
Hi, so Wagwan. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes.
Yeah, so I learned it a long time ago, 2 years ago, when I started managing the Caribbean. This is my first time. I'm excited. So I wanted to start thanking because I know the traffic, the time, but if you are here, it means something, right? It means that all of us are here because we want better education, we want better job opportunities, we want better quality of life, and we want to see if it's affordable or possible for you. I was hearing when I entered here the story that some of you may already try to get into Canada. Some of you are thinking, but are a little bit resilient. Resilient is the word like that to say that not 100% sure. So that's why we persistence. So that's why we partnered with Career Quest, Camosun, and Conestoga, because we want to offer you different options, right? We want you to make the best decision, as Danny said. It's all about whether you feel there's a connection between the city and there are job opportunities for you, because all the colleges are good. The only thing that is going to make the difference for you is that whether you see yourself working in that area or studying that program or living in that place. Okay? So we are known because we are in Ontario, and the most famous city in Ontario is Toronto, right? Raise your hands if you have ever heard about Toronto or been in Toronto. So Toronto is a little bit expensive. Honestly, Toronto is like the New York of the United States. So that is making it a little bit difficult for the internationals to live there because it's very expensive. So we are outside. And I'm just gonna, this is not my laptop, so I don't know how to go. Sorry? This one? So you missed my one. Let's see if I pronounce correctly. So I'm not, as Daniel said, I'm not going to go through all the slides because there are a lot. But I wanted to show you, so where we are located, as I said, the most famous city is Toronto. But because it's very expensive, and one of the visions or the missions of Conestoga is to be affordable to the internationals. So we are outside. We are located in a region that calls Kitchener-Waterloo. It's an hour, 112 kilometers of distance between Toronto and the first campus, that is Guelph. But we have very good news for those, because most of the Caribbean people have family in Toronto, right? I don't know if it's your case, but they have family, so they want to be very close to Toronto. So the good news is that we're opening a new campus in Milton, which is 20 minutes by GO bus or driving distance from Toronto. And then we are having more campuses in Guelph, two in Guelph, two in Kitchener, two in Waterloo, two in Cambridge. And why we're having a lot of campuses? Because we're growing. This region is growing a lot because we're very close to the United States. And being Toronto, the most populated city, makes us like a lot of, it's attractive. The location is very attractive for the business companies to establish here. So that's why there are a lot of job opportunities in different areas of the region. Because the internet was failing a little bit, I'm not going to show the video right now. However, I just want to go through what I just mentioned right now. From Toronto to Waterloo, there are 15,000 companies, and this is the second biggest ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the world. The government supports a lot the technology startups, and we offer a lot of job opportunities, as I mentioned. I just want to I'm going to scroll it quickly. So all of the people, the Jamaican people that are looking to study something related to technology, we have it. If you want to study something related to engineering, we have it. If you want to study business, we have more than 40 programs. We have more than 230 programs that are there for you. And why is that? I don't know if you know that of course, both of us are public institutions, and we are created because of for the industry. So meaning that we have a lot of programs is because the industries are putting their headquarters there. So that's why there are a lot of job opportunities, and that's why there are a lot of programs for you to pick on your best interest. So advanced manufacturing, aerospace, business and finance services, food processing, water technologies, automotive, health and life science, and startup ecosystems. So just right now, when I go back a little bit, even though with the pandemic, they were created a lot of job opportunities, right? And the job vacancy is really high. The average salary is good, and it's cheaper, as I said. So just back to what I started, that we're here because we're looking to see if we can have better opportunities. I just want to say and reaffirm that the programs you're going to study in Canada are for sure going to give you the opportunity to work, and are for sure the opportunity to have a better quality of life, and gain experience, and maybe with that experience, come back here to Jamaica, or as the son of Yvonne did, stay in Canada, and create a different life, a different future for you. So I'm going to pass it again to Daniel, and then we can go back.
Thank you. So just wanted to chat a little bit. Since we're not too many people here, maybe we could just do a quick sort of survey to get a sense as to what you're interested in studying. Have an idea? Mechanical engineering? Yeah. Electrical engineering? Still deciding? Okay. Animation. Animation? Good. Same thing. Food and nutrition. Good. Community service.
Nursing.
Nursing. Okay. So we've got a good, very wide range of programming here. So some of that programming we have most in college. If you don't have it, it's very likely Conestoga has it. So yeah, I think you'll be able to find those programs first. But I'll just do a very quick overview. So in terms of credentials, and again, this sort of applies to colleges across Canada, you'll find most of the main credential that students will obtain at college will be what's called a diploma, or either a post-degree diploma, postgraduate diploma, or postgraduate certificate. Sometimes the nomenclature changes a little bit, but essentially what that means is these are programs that are professionally oriented. So these are programs that have a very, very strong focus on applied learning. Most of them will have what we call a work integrated learning component. So that means either co-ops or full semesters of paid work opportunities. Internships, which are usually work opportunities that come at the end of the program of study. Many internships are paid, some may not be. And we also have practicum. So in the case of nursing, for example, we can't offer you paid co-ops because you're not certified yet. So we do what's called clinical observations. We want to make sure that you get into a hospital, that you have contact with patients, and you understand what the professional world is like. So we basically give you as much applied experience as you possibly can through these work integrated learning opportunities. So that's what diplomas and post-degree diplomas have. We also have associate degrees and bachelor's degrees, but based on your interest, we won't spend too much time on those. Good. So let me skip this for the same reason. So we essentially have 5 schools, faculties at most, so depending on the area of study, we do one or the other. I'm going to focus just to touch on some of the programs you mentioned. So our School of Engineering and Technology. Victoria was, until I mentioned, the whole Kitchener-Waterloo area is a big tech hub in Canada. Western Canada is another big tech hub. We have some other areas that we focus on. In Victoria, for example, in Vancouver, we have a big focus on gaming, mobile app development, user interface, user experience. Those are sort of the areas of specialty on the West Coast. So we have, for example, programming and information computer systems, which has a strong focus on software, backend, interactive media developer, which is really has a creative component in addition to the programming component, and cybersecurity. In terms of engineering, so engineering programs, we have two types of engineering programs in Canada. We have diplomas, and diplomas train engineering technologists. In Canada, it's important to note that 6 engineering technologists are hired for every 1 engineer. If you think about it, we need people to do the work. We don't need as many people to supervise the work. So a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want to become an engineer. That's great. There are lots of opportunities to become engineers. But if you're looking at a quicker return on your investment, if you're looking at a program that's going to be much more hands-on, much more applied, it's going to get you out into the field, working for a really good salary, engineering technology is a really good way to go. From an engineering technology, and we have, and then mechanical was mentioned, and electrical was mentioned, we have these areas. I'll touch on the programming areas a bit too, but I'm sure you have them as well. But one thing that we have that's interesting about these is, let's say down the road you've been working as an engineering technologist for a little while, you might want to become a professional engineer at that point. We have a bridge to get into the Bachelor of Engineering program at the University of British Columbia or the University of Victoria, which are two of the top engineering faculties in Canada. So you have that opportunity to continue on with your education and continue on with your professionalization if you so decide. Like I mentioned, you can have a very fruitful career as an engineering technologist, but I know many people ask and are wondering, what if I do want to keep studying? Do I have to start again? You do not. You have those opportunities to bridge and to continue the program. We do have some programming in health and human services. I'll just touch on nursing really briefly. So we have what's called practical nursing for international students. The registered nursing programs, unfortunately, it is changing now in Canada. They're probably will be a little bit more open this soon. But unfortunately, the areas of healthcare are closed to international students because historically all of those seats have gone to domestic students in very, very high demand. Our labor market has changed considerably, and we're at a point right now where we have an aging population, and we have much more of a need for healthcare professionals now than we ever did in the past. So our provincial governments, healthcare is mandated by provincial governments in Canada, not by the federal government. So they're adapting as quickly as they possibly can to these needs. So I'm sure we'll see changes soon, but the way it stands now is there are limited opportunities in healthcare. So practical nursing is the choice for people who are interested in nursing. More limited scope of practice in a registered nurse. However, there are opportunities if and when you become a Canadian permanent resident or citizen to continue on with your studies, to get your Bachelor of Nursing, and to become a registered nurse and go on to your master's or whatever your studies are. So there is a pathway for you. I think, one other thing I want to mention, even though nobody really talked about it, I like talking about sport and exercise education in the Caribbean because a lot of people, I know this is a very big athletic country, very big athletic destination, and a lot of us, we might not necessarily think that we can have a career in sport and exercise. You can. If this is an interest to you, you can have a very good career in sport and exercise. Victoria is a training center for 9 of our Olympic teams. We have all kinds of rehabilitation we do. We have all kinds of training facilities. There are opportunities for management in the field of sports, all kinds of business practices in the field of sport. So if this is something of interest, it's something certainly worth exploring a little bit. Athletic and exercise therapy, physiology, etc. Massage therapy. And business, lots of opportunities in business. And I'm going to leave it at that for now, so let's have a chat a little
So, I heard mechanical engineering, right? I heard animation, I heard practical nursing, I heard food and nutrition, and am I missing one? Oh. Commis- and you don't know what to study, right? You're very young, and I understand the pressure. When I was 17 years old, I had my life fixed because I wanted to be a lawyer because my father was a lawyer, and for me it was easy. But honestly, my career in law was 5 years, and when I was at the middle was 2 years and a half, I said, this is not for me. But he was already paying the education. I wasn't going. I never quit. So what I did is I finished it, and then I studied a master's degree in what I liked it. And I make my career, my professional career in education. So that's how I ended up here. The good things about me studying law is that I learned that everything is helpful in your life. It took me to a different country. I was an international student. I studied in Spain. And I discovered that I really wanted to live abroad, but I also discovered that I couldn't work in Spain. So that's why I love promoting Canada, because it gives you the opportunity to not only come and study, then you feel in love of the city, but then you have to go back, right? So Canada is like you come and study with us, and then you can stay working, right? And if you have family members, you can bring it with you. They will have open work permits and they will have free education, and there are a lot of benefits that other countries in the world doesn't offer you. So all the programs that you mentioned, we have it at Conestoga because, as I just said, everything is growing, the industry is growing. So I just want to show you how to navigate. So here's our offer list. So for the people that we said mechanical engineering, we have it as a 4-year program here, and then we also have it in a 3-year program. The people that are in food and nutrition, we have it a 2-year diploma. The one that mentioned practical nursing, we have it in 3-year diploma, and I have it like in a 2-year diploma, 3-year diploma, and animation 2-year diploma. So I want to ask you, all of you wanted to study like undergraduate level or graduate level? For example, the person that mentioned animation, do you already have experience in animation? Okay. So you don't have to go to animation. The reason I was asking is because, for example, we have the 2-year diploma of animation, but also we have a 3D animation certificate of 1 year. But to do that, you have to have experience in animation. The practical nursing, for example, the one that you mentioned, practical nursing, you have to study, like, are you already a nurse? No. Okay, so you have to study the pre-health 1 year, and then 2 years of practical nursing, or you can also do personal support worker, which is really cool. Actually, it's an 8-month program, and you have the opportunity to start working with patients, or more like seniors, and care about them, and then do the pathway to practical nursing. So food and nutrition, I know here in the Caribbean, the hospitality school is quite popular. The tourism is very popular. So we also have programs for you that are good in this area. Of course, I have to say that the programs that are better paid are, of course, technology. The salaries, every of the programs I just mentioned, you can easily earn a salary of 60,000 Canadian dollars per year. It's a very well paid programs. I'm just gonna actually go through these are industries. I will speak about this, and we are focusing on the programs. So this is what I have just mentioned, and this is the cost of the programs. So it's an investment. I'm from Mexico, and I come from a country that education sometimes is an expense, right? That's how we say it? Investment. Expense. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's expensive because you don't see the return of investment. Yeah. Honestly, right? You pay a lot, And there, at the end, when you graduate, there are no job opportunities, or the salaries are really low. Yeah, that's why I bring it, because I'm assuming, even though I have been in Kingston for a couple of hours, I think it's gonna be the same story here. So that's why I always said the costs are affordable. Well, maybe it's not for 1 year, not now, but you can plan. You can make a plan in 1 or 2 years or 3 years, and then you can make it happen, right? So why I say it's a return of investment is because you're studying, but at the same time you can work 20 hours per week, and at the same time when you finish, you can return that investment because of the salary. The minimum salary you can get 1 year in Canada is 30,000. So if I'm telling you that, remember that I mentioned to you guys there was a 2-year diploma, etc., etc. So this is the price, just multiply it by 2. And that will be, as I said, maybe you don't have it right now, but maybe in 2-3 years, that's why with the support of Career Quest, you can definitely start planning the future. When is the good time for you to go? But please go, because it's gonna change your life. So the brochure I just give you, just want to show you here are the start dates. It's September, January, and here are as well the length of the programs. So here in the title you can see 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, etc. And now I'm just going to focus in the areas that you mentioned. So right now you are from the Caribbean. You just need, because I just mentioned on the graduate programs, you just need the transcripts and, of the high school, and then that's it to be part of Conestoga family member. I will then can explain a little bit more. I just wanna also touch base about the campuses and the life. So for that, I'm just gonna really try to see if that video works. So I want you to see.
Waterloo is a place for builders, for people who work hard to make something bigger and better than they could achieve alone. From automotive and advanced manufacturing to information and communications technology, we're not just innovating, we're inventing the future. Thousands of startups and multinational brands work shoulder to shoulder, creating what's next, together. Our world-renowned post-secondary schools produce successful founders and dedicated employees, driven forward by cutting-edge research centers, accelerators, the world's largest free incubator, and corporate innovation hubs. The breadth, depth, and quality of these resources form a strong and resilient ecosystem that offers unparalleled support. Wherever you look, you'll see passionate people who take creative risks, try new things, and do more of what they love because of where they live. This is a place where the best and the brightest come to make an impact. In Waterloo, things are changing fast. We're charting new territory, solving complex problems, and growing billion-dollar businesses. We are inventing the future.
So I just wanted to finish my part of my presentation, and then I think we can open to more questions as soon as Daniel finishes his presentation. But I just want to finish with this. We are inventing the future. And what we say is what you do here counts out there, because it's true. At Conestoga, we are 30,000 international students right now, and all of them, they started with one dream, right? So maybe you have a dream, maybe you think, oh no, that's too much money, maybe it's not for me, maybe this young lady is like telling me, no, it's maybe it's not for, like, I don't want to leave my country, I don't want to leave my family. But if you are a person that really picture yourself in a different area, in a different future, you can do it. You think all of these people have the money right away? Or you think all these people have the requirements right away? No. It took them years to prepare themselves. It can be possible if you want it. I haven't lived in Canada 10 years. Of course, I miss Mexico. Of course, I miss the food. Of course, I miss my family. But I'm still in Canada because I feel safe and I feel certain that what I'm working and what I'm learning and what I'm doing is taking me to my tranquilidad, how do you say that? Tranquilidad, my peace of mind. That even though I have stories of people that have 60 years old and they just got fired from their work, they have another job in 2 months because we are a small country, 36 million people, and we're on the second largest country in the world. So there are opportunities for you. What I'm trying to say is I know there are a lot of colleges outside. I know most of you have heard of other colleges. Colleges these last 4 years start to grow a lot. And we need you. We need people that are talented, that are hardworking, and I know Caribbean people are like that. So if you want more information about this, I mean, we're here for you. We're gonna be here in Kingston a lot of, well, 3 or 4 more days, so we can have more conversations. But I guarantee all the programs that you mentioned have very good job opportunities here in Ontario. And just if you want to pick us up, just let us know. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. And yeah, I'll just wrap up by saying, well, what I mentioned at the beginning. When you're pursuing an education in Canada, you go to a public college, go to a public university, you'll be making the right decision. It's just a matter of what you want to do, where you want to do it. So do your research. I tell students all the time, there's so many great videos on YouTube. Just do some scrolling, check them out, see if you can picture yourself in a particular place. There are also a lot of really good tools where you can do research into the local job market. So, I mean, we both mentioned to you some statistics about, the job markets where we are. But you can actually go online and see what types of positions are being hired for, how many jobs are available in that field. You can find out for yourself, and you can also see what they're paying, right? So these are things that you can do as you start preparing for your journey before you start going to Canada. And yeah, so start reading. We're also here for you. As Natalia mentioned, we're going to be for 2 more days, but we're also always available to connect by Zoom or the Teams meeting. We have great events here with Kim and Yvonne. They can certainly organize a counseling session for you to really help hone in on program study you may be interested in. And you're not a particular institution. Hopefully it'll be one of ours, but if it isn't, there are other options in Canada as well. It's certainly along your way. So please reach out if you have any questions. More than happy to have a one-on-one and really sort of dive in a little bit more to see if one of our institutions can make it for you. So thank you all. We'll open it up for some question and answer.
We want to really show, as Daniel mentioned, the information is there always, like what are the job opportunities. Explore. Sometimes, just like an advice, for example, me, I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I discovered I didn't want to. So the first question is why you want to be studying practical nursing or animation or mechanical engineering. By the way, we have very good programs, very job opportunities in mechanical engineering. And it's just the first thing to do is what I want to do or study, have good salaries, have good job employment opportunities. And then the second thing you have to explore is if the courses that I'm going to take are good for me. Like, do I know some of them, for example, animation, I need a portfolio, or do I picture myself studying this and that? So everything's in the webpage. I'm pretty sure Cam also has, I don't know if you want to put it, the same information.
It's the same thing.
Yes, we have the programs, 255 programs, and then each program has their own webpage. And here we have the program description. And then I just put animation. Here are the videos. Here's the price. What does the price includes? And the sequence. If you have break, if you don't have break. The admissions, the courses and the careers. It's just mentioned. So thank you so much. We are here, and I don't know if you have any questions. You're more than welcome to ask to them to him. So, any questions? No?
No questions?
I just
I
realized that
do
if
have
you
a question. I was late, so I didn't get to hear the full overview. But I do have several questions that I think I'll direct to Kim at the end. But what I will say though is a statement. I'm very interested. It would be my first degree. Well, I have an incomplete degree here. And I know I need to complete my degree. So I would find out, I would talk with Kim tomorrow for her to guide me along the process. But I don't, by any chance, do you guys offer any law degree? Law degrees offered?
No degree. For example, with us, what do you like about law?
Um, I mean, I like family law, I like criminal law. I like law. I like representation. That's the truth.
Yeah. So that's why I asked, because we have, for example, the Bachelor of Criminal Justice, which is family oriented, like you can be a sheriff or you can be, I don't know about what are the job court services, mediation, it's more like also with psychology, like the behavior of the person why is committing the crime, etc.
I'm interested in that part.
Yeah, so that is a 4-year bachelor.
Okay.
Although, if you allow me to give you a recommendation, I only studied the 2-year program that is in protection, security, and investigation, because that is a direct opportunity for you to work right away. You don't need to do another program. There's another program for some police foundations, but for police foundations, you have to start to take a certification or something else. Protection, security, and investigation is a 2-year program that has a lot of job opportunities. It's more in the private sector versus police foundations is more like the public sector, but it gives you the opportunity to work right away. And for what I heard about the person that leads the program, the teacher, he told me that 91% of the students have found a job within the 6 months.
Okay.
So now, 91%, how many students, how many is that, right? Like both colleges are small size classes like yours as well, yeah, between 25 and 35 students. So think about it, 91% is like minus one student can find a job. It's a pretty cool program. I was there actually like in August and I saw the labs and it's all to see like the fingerprints and how to find like who did the crime and this and that. So it's really cool. So I don't know if that answered your question or no, but I definitely, Daniel has explained to me that law in Canada is the second program, and I think you have more experience with that.
Sure. So, yeah, and I realized I didn't talk at all about community services, so we'll kind of bridge a little bit over the two. So, law is a second degree in Canada. If you want to become a lawyer, you need to study something previously, and it does need to be a bachelor's degree. One thing I will touch on again that you probably missed earlier was I talked a little bit about laddering in programs in Canada. So we have a lot of opportunities for students to start in a, let's say, 2-year diploma program, which is a very professionally oriented program in something like Tyler's National Police Services. We also have a 2-year diploma in criminal justice, but our 2-year diploma in criminal justice, for example, can ladder into a 4-year bachelor's degree in criminology. So you do 2 more years, and at another point in time, and you'll have your bachelor's degree. And then if you decide, you know what, I really still want to become a criminal lawyer, then at that point you can. You have your bachelor of criminology, you can write your LSATs, you can submit your applications to law schools, and you can try to get into law school at that point. So you have those opportunities. Community services works exactly the same way. So for example, we have a diploma in community family and child studies. So that really has a strong focus on working with youth, families, Yes, as I mentioned, there's a good opportunity to start with a two-year diploma. It's a smaller investment, financial investment that you make. You'll perceive an immediate return on that investment as soon as you graduate, but then you can start developing more ideas as to what you want to do afterwards.
I just want to also speak about what I told you about your program, right? As I said, Daniel said this is a smaller investment, and what you want to do is, okay, I'm in Canada. I don't want to be a student forever, right? So 2 years is more than enough to find a job up of 3 years after that. That's why I recommend that one. Also, we have something related with, you can study protection, security, and investigation, and after that you can take a graduate certificate or advanced policy studies. You know, so there are a lot of opportunities later. In terms of community services, we have the School of Community Services, and we have more than 12 programs involved with the community. Early childhood education, social service worker, personal support worker, just Diana said, like parliament, everything that is involved with the community, we offer it. So, anyone has another question?
I have a question, but it just replied to my mind. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay.
You have your programs.
So, Red Seal certification, these are for people interested in the trades. One thing that's important to note with trades education in Canada is most trades programming is not open to international students, unfortunately, because they don't meet the requirements for the study permit program. In order to meet the requirements for the study permit program, 50%, at least 50% of the program for study is academic studies. That's foundations. So there are foundations in trades, but so the way it works is a trades program will get you on track for Red Seal, and it's a 3-year, 4-year apprenticeship-based program. Foundations in trades are 1 to 2-year programs that will typically give you level 1 and level 2 of trades, and then they'll give you some co-op component where you'll have some applied work experience in that field, and then you'll have to continue on with your apprenticeship. And eventually, depending on the Red Seal certification you're looking for, either 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years later, then you would be able to attain that. So the pathway for international students in trades is through foundations, where you'll do typically level 1, usually level 2, some work components, and maybe some other theoretical basis in that program. And then you'll have to continue working in that field and go towards your Red Seal. Unless you guys do consider it. And many colleges will typically have those foundations in areas like could be carpentry, could be auto mechanics, could be electrical.
All right. Pertaining to your application, right? Submit some documents.
Yes.
Do you pay what certificates do you pay?
What do you mean in terms of
You're talking about
certificates?
the academic requirements.
Academic requirements, so it's typically CSEC or CAPE, either one of the two. The nice thing about colleges generally, if you go to students directly with CSEC, we may have a couple of subject areas that need to be at a level that's higher than CSEC.
I am sitting with an OCR.
Yeah, what CTL gives?
An OCR.
What is OCL?
Oxford
Oh, Oxford, that's in English?
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about English
That
certification.
is O-level English.
Oxford English very good.
It's
O level. Yeah, so if you, as long as you have, so the way it works is for admission to college, you look at the English requirement. As long as you've
I'm
studied,
not talking about the English part because, as I said, I'm trying to accredit the audit.
yes.
And depending on all of my qualifications, I have to do that exam.
Okay. I don't have your documents in front of me. I don't want to tell you one way or another. And happy to maybe discuss them another point, but just in general terms, as long as you studied in an English-speaking system here at the academy for 4 years, typically
I was in London for 15 years.
I'd have to see your.
So I have a associate degree in engineering. I have paid customs. That's other country.
For what program?
Mostly electric. I mean technology.
Let's chat. We'll take a look at your documentation
It's
doesn't have
okay,
to be
we
this
can always
specific.
connect with you because we have direct access, so we can do a consultation where we get all your documentation and.
Yeah, I studied working in England for like 5-10 years.
What do you think you like it?
Get used to the private. It's hard to live in.
So you experience what I experienced in school, right? International, the outside.
I was doing most of the work. Because I'm a really educated I just went to college when I was time, finished up some programs, and I said after when I went to set a shop, business is not nice.
Business is very popular here.
For my level, you have the qualification, but as you stick a points, it's best to go under the belt and a level to get more than to try to stick up as an engineer. And an engineer, because there are so many of us out there, and less job.
Yes.
So the part of the job that is there, the dirty kind, getting kind of dirty, get the clothes dirty.
Yes.
That's the part that is out there a lot. So a lot of us who is the engineer have to take one step backward because of that problem. So yeah, you have to say, you know what? I'm going to let the sucker coach me, and I'm going to go there and do the work, and at least I get paid. So turn the table again. I'm trying to go somewhere where I think I should live. There's restrictions in my city.
You're done?
Yeah.
And you're 1 year, we're done with that.
If I can't make it for myself, I have to say the best point.
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, we'll look at your requirements. There are solutions. There are different ways you can go about doing it. There are technology pathways. You can look at foundations and trades.
I am, let's say I'm really one of these Jamaican, but work options are not that popular here. So I have now dumped a lot of energy. I'm going to Germany for next year. I've been to Germany before, so I'm going back to Germany. So if I go back to Germany and I try to sign my deal, then I can stay in and study there, study things. But for my personal reason is that I'm trying to go to Canada as a English speaking country. Yeah. It will take me 2 years before I get the ABC in London, Germany. So for me to learn German, it's going to take me 2 years for basic. And it's 2 more years before I can say I like you, I love you.
Well, let's look for options for you.
So,
I'm sure we can figure something out for you.
so
That's
for
gonna be
Canada, I
fine.
said, all right, let's go to Canada, but I don't know, there are restrictions to me. That's the only restriction.
We'll make it simple for you.
I just have a little, presentation I want to do, which would perhaps help to clarify some more in terms of what options are available, and then also, as I said, we invite you to come and do a consultation with us.
That's why I bring up the Red Sea as well, because with my level of my work experience and everything that I have, the only thing I need, there's some roots in my field that I can jump.
We don't want to, because it's
I
a
can do a
general
Red Sea
forum.
and go straight to the
I
work
think we
industry.
don't want to go too much into individual circumstances. I think the consultation, or even after the session, we can connect on a more intimate basis to do it. But I think we have a good picture. Okay, so just want to wrap up the presentation, and all our questions were answered. Did we have a clear idea in terms of location, student services? I don't think we touched a lot on student services, but so we have a better understanding of the location, the similarities and the differences between living in life in British Columbia, Victoria to be exact, and life in Ontario. We also see the locations of the campuses. The good thing I like about both schools is that they're centrally located, so they're really in the hub of the cities that they're situated in. And so you have easy access to major amenities, even if you're supposed to get a job off campus. There is ease of transportation for you to commute, etc. Housing opportunities as well. So it really boils down to looking at each school, seeing the culture there, and which one you think you're best able to connect with. As a former international student, I can tell you, being adjusted to a new country, new style of living, it's very important that you choose a school that connects with you. Because what is going to really drive your success is the environment that you're in. Canada is cold, so that's one thing, it can sometimes tend to get, and I'm just painting the reality, can sometimes get dreary, especially in those winter months. And so you want to ensure that you can immerse yourself in a school environment, a school culture that gives you an outlet of expression in different forms of activities. You can fully immerse yourself so you don't go into depression or boredom. And so both schools give you a wealth of, those opportunities. It's not just about going to Canada, get your studies, and, most persons, I'm sure, want to transition for work and permanent residency, but it's the full cultural experience that you will get that will really maximize the return on your investment, because it is a big investment, and so you want to ensure you get the full benefit that will, if you choose to return home and you get a job, you're able to share and translate how being in a multicultural environment has leveled you up as an individual to know, operate functionally in the workspace. And so we have our services, so we do academic advising, college placement, we assist you with the application process. From time to time throughout the years, we have webinars, so we invite our past students to come and share with you tips and tricks that they have employed to navigate the study journey in Canada. We invite, immigration, we have very close partnership with an immigration attorney in Canada, so we invite him on to help you to, get some insights into the student visa process. What are some requirements? How do you maximize your approval success rates when applying for your study permit? We give visa application guidance, again, in partnership with that immigration attorney who is based in Toronto. We do pre-departure briefing, so we have our checklist. Once your study permit is approved, we give you a checklist of items that you need to prepare for, when you get to the border, what are some of the expectations, how do you pack, stuff like that. So we ensure every T is crossed and every I dotted. Transition support as well, because, Lady Yvonne has established her network in Canada over the past 14 years. We have a robust network, especially in British Columbia, as well as in Toronto. So we have students who we can call on to say, we have some students coming, for January, can you assist us with accommodation? We assist with airport pickup, stuff like that. So we assist you every step of the journey, and you have access, as I said, to our vast network that we have available in Canada. And I don't think I need to go through this, but Canada is a very popular choice for many persons, even more than other similar territories, the United States, the UK, and the high quality of education that you get. And especially at, a very hands-on institution like Camosun or Conestoga, what it is that you'll be getting is practical training. So their courses incorporate work experience in many aspects. So when you graduate or when you're completed with your program, you're actually fully functional to start working. And as Daniel mentioned, a lot of the programs have co-op work experience integrated in the program. So you're actually working while you're going to school, which gives you a competitive edge upon graduation. the work opportunities upon completion. So as an international student, depending on the tenure of your study, it qualifies you for work opportunities, being able to work, post-graduation work permits, up to 3 years in Canada. So you get that international, study experience, but you also get international work experience. So imagine, as a Jamaican, you get that experience and you want to come back home to work. You have you have a competitive edge above other persons who may have been trained locally, because it gives you a wider perspective, a wider ability to, understand different cultures, different perspectives. And so students who are internationally trained are usually more competitive than their local counterparts upon completion of studies. Safe and inclusive environment, I know up to 2021, they were considered the safest place to live. I don't know if that has changed. So Canada is, we know somebody mentioned crime rate, I think it's Mr. Engineer here. We've had students share stories with us. They've gone to sleep and they perhaps forgot to close their door, and they woke up and everything was still intact. I don't know anybody here who can have a similar experience in Jamaica, but it's very safe and inclusive. So they're very, very big on diversity and inclusion. So, and leave your handbag. I'm not telling you to go and do this now, but I'm just, giving you a comparison. And there's so much to explore in terms of their landscape, natural landscape. So there are a lot of, major monuments. Whether you go to British Columbia or you go to Ontario, there are a lot of attractions. So you can still explore in your summer holidays, etc. It gives you that international experience that you wouldn't have otherwise got if you had studied in Jamaica. And research and innovation. So I'm not going to labor too much on that one. Another critical thing about planning for your studies, and I have a little quote: proper planning prevents poor performance. So if you fail to properly plan with adequate timelines in place, then chances are you may not make this journey as successfully as somebody who has prepared. And we'll look at one of the critical components of planning in short order, which is financial planning. Because I think that may be the biggest deterrent to a lot of persons in Jamaica, realizing their dream of studying in Canada, because the finances is not quite intact. So we're going to give you a little, not too much. If you come to your consultation session, we'll give you some more insights. But you want to start planning at least a year in advance for this transition. So you want to research, different school options, different program options, and ensure you select the school and program that you think is, best for you. Yes, while there may be opportunities to transition when you get there, transition from a program of study or transition to another school, but you want to do it right the first time. And so research is very important in the planning process. And so we recommend, if you're planning to make that transition, a year is adequate to start the process. So you research, you do your application process. Once you meet the minimum admission requirements and there are enough seats, then chances are you'll receive your offer of admissions. And then here's the big part, now needing to find the funds to pay the tuition. And again, we're going to go a little bit more into that in short order. You then apply for your study permit, prepare to travel, you go to orientation, you graduate, and then Ms. Yvonne will tell you a little bit more about what happens after you graduate. Now, here's the part I think many persons came wanting to find out, how do I, financially make my way to Canada? Now, there are different, resources available for you as an international student to finance your study, but the reality is that the majority of the funds will come from your personal investment. So this can incorporate personal loans, savings, investments, and so as I said, it's always good to start planning in advance. So the benefit you have from coming to this session is you're leaving with the brochures that give you an idea how much the program you're interested in costs. So you can now develop a plan with our help to see how you can close the gap. Sponsorship. So you may not have all the money. You can rely on family sponsorship or sponsorship of a close associate who may have the resources to assist you with coming up with at least your first year tuition and living expenses. That's the minimum financial requirements, to show as it relates to the visa application process. So sponsorship is another way, getting somebody with the, wherewithal to show that they have the ability to finance your study, at least for the first year, and your living expenses. Some institutions, the scholarship opportunities are there, but they're limited, especially for international students. I think they're in the range of about 2,000 maximum, they're about 2,000, 2,500 maximum each year. And so there are opportunities, and when you go, there are also opportunities for you to get, apply for bursaries, grants, do more research, to have funds that you can help that may cover your books, supplies, etc. But the bursaries and the grants are usually small portions, but it supplements in terms of the amount that you will have to come up with out of pocket. And of course, the part that many international students love is the opportunity that as an international student, while you work, you have the opportunity to work part-time. And so on campus, there's not really a maximum number of hours. The guidelines is that you work an average of 20 hours per week during the academic term, and you can exceed that, on average 40 hours during the off-season time, or on the holiday periods. And many persons use the part-time work opportunities to help with accommodation, food, transportation, entertainment, clothing. And so you find that the bulk of it, when you get there, you really will have some means of covering the day-to-day expenses by virtue of the part-time work opportunities. Persons as well work during the holidays to help in terms of, building up funds as well to assist with their tuition. As I said, if you join our webinars, we will let you on to some of our past students who have shared their success stories about how they've been able to navigate the journey of, financing their tuition in innovative ways, all honest means, but innovative ways that you too can employ. And I believe that's it. So I'll just ask Mr. Bond to share briefly, I think we're out of time, but just briefly, what are some of the opportunities you have when you complete your studies? You can opt to return home, as I said. You can, utilize the work experience that's available. And you can also go on, WAYNET, wanted to do further studies. You can go on and pursue another program of studies. So, now I'm going to talk about the just briefly.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Ready to go to Canada?
I am ready.
Well, I want to encourage you that you have to go with an open mind. Guys, you have to go with an open mind, and you have to work very hard and all of that. But it's a great opportunity. I can tell you from experience. My son is there from 2008, and he said he was coming home after 10 years. When he came home, he said, "Mommy, I changed my mind." Right? I have 10 of students to Canada. So even right now, I have one student who wants to share some experiences with you. Juanita, she's in Victoria now, where Kamasun is. So she wants to tell you a little bit about that. Okay, so the postgraduate work permit. It's important because you cannot transition after you have studied if you want to get your permanent residency. So you have to do your postgraduate work permit. Right? It is not automatic, so you have to apply. So you will have to be a manager, supervisor, or in the area that you study, you have to work in those areas. So these are the three options which qualify you for your postgraduate work permit. And as I said, without the work permit, you cannot venture to the next level. So you have to work hard, graduate, and then you do a postgraduate work permit. And this is where most students look forward to, because they don't want to come back and they want to become resident in Canada. So I encourage you to work hard and to ensure that you do well. And I can assure you that you will do well if you are serious Yes, so you have to be serious, and it's a great investment. Personally, Antoine, it involves even your family, because when you get to that stage, you can always, take up your family. You have children back home, your spouse back home. It allows you to do that. And so I encourage you to look at Hammerstone, to look at Conestoga. I have been in this thing from 2008. I'm very, very passionate about it. So when you come to us, Kim and myself, she has now come into it with a wealth of knowledge in marketing and all of that. She's very creative and she does a lot of research. So when you come to us, we will work with you until you get to Canada. And even after Canada, I am still here to assist. Right? So Vanessa is going to share some stuff with us about Victoria. She studied at Rogaland College, but she transitioned to Victoria, and she does it there. So